Welcome to the AI for Interior Designers podcast, where creativity meets cutting edge technology. In each episode, we dive deep into the world of artificial intelligence and explore how it's revolutionizing the interior design industry. From AI-powered design tools to the latest trends and innovations, we've got you covered. So plug in, relax, and let's embark on this exciting journey together. Welcome to AI for Interior Designers podcast. P.S. This intro was written by and voiced by AI to sound like your host, Jenna Gaidusek.
Hey designers, welcome back for episode 48 of the AI for Interior Designers podcast. I'm your host, Jenna Gaidusek, and once again, just me. I promise I have a ton of people lined up, but as you may know, my calendar's been pretty crazy, so finding time to record between all these things with everybody else has just, everybody's on the calendar for May and June. So I will have some guests, but today I want to talk about how quickly everything is moving, especially since I have been out traveling and speaking at conferences and all the things for the past 3 weeks. And I feel like I know nothing about AI until I spend the weekend just kind of catching up on everything. But that's how fast this moves. And people will message me and be like, hey, did you see this? I'm like, no, I had to work that day, when that came out. So haven't seen it yet, but it's crazy how fast everything is coming and what is on the horizon. So just yesterday, I actually had a phone call with Google because I had reached out to them about Agent Space, which is a new the AI thing, to say the most simple basic terms of it. It's a new AI thing that will be coming out, and basically I expressed interest and they got right back to me and we had a conversation. I will have another conversation to continue the conversation because it has not it's not released yet, but it is wild. And I mean, the future of what we're about to be getting into. So I kind of want to start at the beginning, somewhat of the beginning, as to where we are with AI right now, and hopefully really simplify and not speak as a techie person, but what it means right now to be using AI, and then what we will be doing in the very near future. I would say projected, maybe by the end of this year, definitely next year, we'll be into this full speed ahead. So here's the deal. As of right now, basically what AI is doing is it's siloed, right? You see me talking about different tools all the time. I have a free tool list on my site that I update all the time. So it's basically ChatGPT does this. You can create custom GPTs or agents or whatever you want to call them inside, and they do one thing very, very well. And they can, learn your brand voice, and they can help you with random things that you create that agent or bot or GPT to do for you. You can do that in a lot of these other programs as well, right? So agents and custom GPTs, generative pre-trained transformers, so that stands for, are available inside of so many platforms. It's just ChatGPT is the low-hanging fruit, so I'll just refer to that one when I'm talking about that. But there's other models out there that are basically competitors, will say, to ChatGPT as a large language model, and they're trained on their own information, which makes them different, same but different, right? Google, Gemini, and that type of thing, that's not the same as ChatGPT. Those are two separate models, but you could do agents and things like that inside of these various tasks, or inside of these various programs. So we've got that, and then we've got programs like Firefly, Midjourney, I use Visual Electric, that produce really beautiful images and video and audio now. So all the things. And if you've been following me, you know that when I first started the podcast and when I first started teaching all this stuff, it was cool, you could do this and it kind of works, yay. And then every week it's okay, it's getting better. Okay, this is getting better. Okay, this ChatGPT thing might just wipe out how we do things and make us kind of adapt as designers to do things different and better and more efficient, and really showcase our creativity and the way we operate our business with these new tools that we have. So everything right now is in its own little silo, it's its own program, and they're all competing to be the best, to release the next step that they're all working towards, because it's kind of like this progression model where like, if you do this, then this will happen next. And, like just to make things better and better. So they're all competing to be the best, the fastest, play well with others, like that type of thing. But right now, it's like if you want to create an image, now you can do it in ChatGPT, but like before it was like, okay, I have this image as inspiration I can create. It's not very great, but I can take it over to Midjourney or Firefly by Adobe and Visual Electric, and I can create it over here, and then I can make edits or, whatever. But they're all separate. And so we've been using things like Zapier, or some people say Zapier. Like, I don't even know. I'm probably saying it wrong. I say everything wrong. But it's probably something Zapier or Make is another one, or Lindy does this. Basically, it's like this central automation hub that connects and allows you to talk to different pieces of your business. So like if this happens with a trigger on my website, or if I get an intake with a type form, then this email notification could go out, or it sends out this calendar invite, or what have you. These are just automation workflows. Okay. And there's tons of different ways that we can set these up. But what if all of that was done not by you? Like, what if there was like no manual part of this? What if it was like just got back from that client meeting, and instead of uploading your transcript, giving it additional information from the onboarding questionnaire or what have you, your notes, and then saying, here's a sample of my proposal. I'm going to go to my proposal GPT, and I'm going to have it take my transcript, write the proposal, put it in my template, then I'm going to bring it over to Canva, and I'm going to take what it wrote and drop it into like my pretty design board. What if there was no like manual part of that? What if you had programs that just did it? They researched to see like what you guys talked about in that first initial conversation, where it's relevant and it's going to project you to the next step, or help you to operate and do a better job in like nailing that design style. Or if you are in a meeting, it's listening to the transcript, of course, like privacy, you're always disclosing, you're always making sure that like your information is closed and all that. That's for a different day. But let's say that like you're in a meeting and you're just talking, and maybe like you have an agent that is your little agent that comes with you on meetings, and its job is to be there, listen, and start to generate imagery that you can work into your conversation as you're talking to your client in their space, and say, it just heard you say that you really love coastal style for your kitchen, and you're thinking about maybe doing some wood cabinets over here, and then this layout over here. Here's an image that I just created. What do you think about that? Let's talk about it. And then you have those conversations. It's making revisions. It's coming up with other cool stuff. And then you leave the house, and it already knows your favorite sources. It already knows the price point. It's going to start to potentially collect ideas for you based off that conversation immediately, format them into ways that you would want to see them, make sure they fit floor plans and scale and all of that stuff. But then remember, we're human and we're creative. And in the end, it's our final say what happens in the real world, right? So you are also a major contributor to this conversation with this GPT. So instead of like potentially having meetings and design ideas and you're throwing things around, maybe it's just you and an agent that you've created that has been there from the beginning and understands the process. The client can make suggestions and help you with your suggestions to visualize and communicate those better, because as of right now, it only knows what it knows and what it was trained on. So it's going to take you to input, to curate, to come up with all this other stuff. But what if this flow was like just so seamless? Like, what if, can you even imagine? I mean, yes, it's a double-edged sword. If you didn't hear like my ethics and like, honestly, my hesitation and my cautious optimism about AI, then I recommend you listen to last week's episode, because I very passionately spoke about my thoughts for that. But I think that we are on the cusp of AGI, and AGI is literally going to change everything. Okay. So Agentic AI is basically a system that can act on its own. Okay. So it can break a goal down into steps. It can pick the right tools, and then it can like loop check the results, and then like proactively do the tasks that are on a list that you give to them. Okay, so it's basically a autonomous doer, if you want to think of it that way. Okay, now the difference between agentic AI and AGI, so artificial general intelligence, is what AGI stands for. And that is a technically still theoretical. So that's like what we're talking about right now is like we're about to get into that. But it is basically an AI system that can think across any subject at a human level or better. Terrifying. So, like, it's just well versed in everything. Okay. So, like, it could be great at chemistry, it could be great at writing, it could be great at all areas and not just one, like what we were just talking about in the beginning of this episode. So, like, where we're very siloed right now, this will basically connect all of those pieces together. Okay. So, the agentic, oh gosh, it is like so hard for me to say that word. And I know it's probably coming out like so awkward. But right now we basically have that. Okay. So we have custom GPTs, right? So that's like a form of it. Agents with these different like tools and technologies that are out there. You can do ones that are like pulling from other models and like using that as its information base, or you can do a closed model that is really just trained on your information and has knowledge of the world, but like isn't going to just throw that into the conversation if you don't want it to. So that's basically what we have now. But like, there's this middleman task that we have to do to like trigger this and to make that send there and to do all of those different little things, right? So AGI is we've technically kind of started seeing it. If you are subscribing to the $200 per month tier of ChatGPT, which I am not doing. But if you're subscribing to that, basically it's starting to like, if you want to go shopping for, this is their example. If you want to say, here's what I have in my fridge, here's what I would like to do for dinner, it will go find the recipe. It will like add all the things to your Instacart. If you say go make an Instacart, and then you can say, okay, I'm gonna fill in my credit card information. I'm gonna do the billing or whatever, and then it's kind of like working together. But basically, it's autonomous and it's like scouring the internet and it's doing the things that it needs to do. Okay, so the end game is going to be AGI. Okay, so artificial general intelligence. So I like it. I hate it. I don't really know. We won't know until it's here. I've seen some things where it's like, okay, well, once it knows what it is, yeah, are we doomed? And I laugh because I'm uncomfortable. But yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about. I want to look at it from the perspective of, we are the first generation in human society to know this and to do this, unless if there was others that are now gone because this happened and they figured it out. I don't know. But like we're the first ones and we have the ability to be like, hey, let's do this the right way. Are we? I don't know. We won't know until it's here. But I see that it could be a really cool thing. It could be really a new way of living and just kind of like taking out all that clutter and that silly stuff that we do that a lot of humans just hate doing. And we're like, why are we doing this when we could be outside touching grass right now? And then replace those types of things with just like better things, like what if we didn't have to do our grocery shopping and we could have that stuff like researched sent to us, like, and then, if you enjoy cooking, you cook it, like just all of the things that we could be doing with that AGI technology when it's out. It's exciting and it's terrifying at the same time. So the other day I had this call with Google and it was about Agent Space, which is going to be starting out, but more with like enterprise accounts because they want, larger accounts to be some of the first ones. But basically it is pulling all of your Google like suite, all of your cloud and all of the programs that you're using from spreadsheets to Gmail to Inbox, like all of the things, and even outside of that to do research. And of course, Google Gemini to pull from the internet and research, but chat-based conversations and more of the AGI side where it's just doing it for you. So like by the time you wake up, it's already checked your email, it's flagged the ones that you need to address that it hasn't been able to address because it didn't have the information on how to do that. And it's just keeping your business moving forward based off of your closed information. So with that being said, there is some things that, you would want to make sure there's no like bad information or old things, and privacy, of course, is a major component to all of this. So we'll have to see how that all shakes out. They're saying it's all private. They're saying things are locked in. Won't see it until it's out, right? So hopefully we'll get some clarification as to what that means with privacy and what it can actually do. But it's pretty wild, the direction that we are about to be going in, and it's happening so quickly. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm feeling like I'm behind because I was out for 3 weeks. So, I'm about to go bury my head in the sand and learn everything that I possibly can that I missed over the past 3 weeks, because I know that image generators, video, all these programs are now getting so much better in the past 3 weeks, and I haven't had a chance to play with them. So I'm going to be doing that and then reporting back. But I just wanted to put this on your radar. If it's not something that you knew was a thing yet, or that you were hoping is a thing, didn't know what to call it maybe, but are hoping for it, but also now maybe not as much, thinking about the good things it can do, but also how people will use this in not positive ways, right? So let's continue the conversation. Let's keep talking about this. Let's get our feelings about it out, because we're humans and we have feelings and we need to talk about this. And the best way for us to address these things as they're happening in real time is just to talk about it. So leave a comment here. Go visit the YouTube video of this. If you're not already following the podcast on YouTube, go check that out. And let's keep talking about where we're going, how fast we're getting there, and the positive and the negative of it all. Okay, so I will see you next week for the next episode. I will be in Chicago actually next week on May 7th and 8th for the Design Hounds Talks. I'll be presenting about AI, but kind of in a different way than I ever have before. So I'm really excited about that, because it's more of let's get back to what we love, why we love doing it, and let's just focus again. So, all right, guys, I will see you next week. You have a great day. Bye.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of the AI for Interior Designers podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and tune in next week for more AI tips for your design business. See you next time.